warrior, monk, necromancer, elementalist, ranger. Of your 5 options, 2 are immediately tossed aside as incompatible. The remaining 3 present their own strengths and weaknesses, but one stands out among the rest. The raw destructive power of the elements is too tempting to pass. It alone holds the key to fending off the fearsome and formidable threat that is the Char. You inform Azura of your decision, and she imbues you with the energy of an elementalist. You may now begin training in water, earth, fire, and air magic. Nearby, in Foible's Fair, Relena Stormbringer asks that you test some air magic to prove its potency to Azura. It seems this is more of a one-sided rivalry, as Azura is just impressed with how quickly you are progressing. Though she warns that Relena teaches a more reckless form of magic, and to keep an open mind on broadening your horizons. Returning to the fair, you ask Relena of a wayward wizard's whereabouts, whose sister is worried he may become a royalist, one who intends to depose King Adalbern, that Duke Baradin was the rightful heir to the throne. His sister claims that he was only mad that he was expelled from the Royal Academy. Apparently, you will find him to the northwest, near the pass to Green Hills County. After telling him that some smug mesmer is cozying up to his Relena, he promptly storms off back to the fair. While in the area, you make sure to pick up a bear pelt for Allison the Tanner, so she may weave it into a cloak for little Thom. Also nearby lies a healing spring which will purify a hunting horn for Aiden. The dangers you meet along the way are made far easier with the powers of an elementalist at your grasp. To thank you for your trouble, Aiden gifts you one of the finest longbows you've ever seen. It's a shame you won't use it. Back in Ashford, you find the farmer still entrapped by bees. Though hardly a challenge, you can't help but aid those in need. You pick up a nearby honeycomb and tantalize the bees, dragging them far from the man. Finally, you get to meet Mr. Upton, who is very grateful for your assistance. During that commotion, you noticed a beautiful pearl fall out of a beautiful shell. Is this the gift Osric was talking about? You hold on to it for now. Moving on to the Devoured Dregs, you are to investigate the presence of an emerging poisonous devourer. If such a creature were to reproduce, the consequences would be dire. With haste, you deliver a stinger to Menlo, who immediately begins working on an antidote. After taking care of a worm problem for Pitney, he asks that you look for his prized moa bird seemingly to have been stolen and dragged into the catacombs. Deep within, you find its corpse in the middle of a sacrificial chamber. Hoping to raise spirits, you return to where you once kept Menlo's disciple alive, now setting votive candles to honor the restless dead. You decide to take a shortcut through the catacombs to Duke Baradin's estate. There, you deliver Little Thalm's cloak to the man himself, and take the opportunity to ask him of the royalists. But he almost enrages at the mere thought of disloyalty to the king. Quickly you apologize, and turn to find the Duke. This time, you word your prose more carefully, to which he replies that he is deeply saddened people would use his name and lineage to stir up trouble. That he thinks Adalbern is a great king, and his son Rurik will be too. Disloyalty to Adalbern is nothing less than the betrayal of Ascalon. But, he asks, whether you were inquiring in a strictly theoretical sense. Of course you were, sealing your loyalty with a hearty, "Long live the king." On your way back, you stop by to pick up the tithe for Ashford's church. But as you near the abbey, you spot the bandit camp that supposedly stole a strongbox intended for Devona. You quickly clear the camp and retrieve the box, delivering it to Devona and telling her of your findings. She's the one who asked you to question locals of the royalists, and is pleased to hear those important have nothing but the strongest fealty to the king. Perhaps it's time to deliver this pearl to your lovely teacher. But what's this? Old Mac yelling at her? Apparently the bull she had you put down was his, and he demands compensation. But first, you hand her the pearl and tell her of Rurik and Ulstric's scheming. She rolls her eyes and, with irritation, but also a touch of endearment, remarks the following: that Rurik is a fool, that the gift itself matters not, but that it comes from the heart, and she'll have a talk with the boys about their childish behavior. At the bottom of the hill, Mac waits for you, clearly aware that you are the one to kill Bill. After a few more ramblings and sincere apologies, he suggests that a devourer raised from a hatchling might be a suitable replacement. Luckily, you picked up a devourer egg during your time in their dregs, and with that, he considers your debt paid in full. As soon as you enter the city, Prince Rurik summons you. A band of Jar have been spotted outside the gate. You are to help dispatch them at once. After the battle, Rurik asks that you keep a careful eye for the one that led them across. Devona may have some insight on the matter. As he thought, Devona has heard reports of a Grawl band advancing on the village. They've never been so aggressive, and need to be reminded why. Likely inciting the Grawl to attack, you realize this matter must be dealt with, once and for all. Back in the capital, you find a novice ranger willing to help you across the wall. With the three of you teaming up, you are filled with determination. But as you near the gate, you worry her inexperience may endanger her and her pet. Not wishing any harm to befall her, you ask that she return to the city, tossing up 50 coins to thank her for her troubles. Finally, you're on the other side. First, to find the stranded soldier. You should begin your search at Piketon Square, where his unit was ambushed by a Char patrol. Among the scattered footprints, one set briefly leads west, into the water. Crossing over, you find Ben atop the hill, hiding from nearby Char, who immediately runs to you after seeing your friendly face for the first time in forever. Retracing your steps, you easily escort him back to safety. With that taken care of, it's time to investigate what the Char are up to. Accustomed to deception through illusory techniques, and with careful timing, you easily sneak past this garrison. Following the road, you see in the distance a large force gathered around an enormous cauldron. Might this be the weapon Mirak had a vision of? You climb uphill to get a better look. Sure enough, 4 emissaries stand guard adjacent to the ominous cauldron. You know not how it works, but you do know you must report this to Armin Saberlin at once. Grateful for your findings, he promises to dispatch a specialized unit as soon as possible. For now, you are to chase down the Char that escaped earlier during the Grawl attack on Ashford. His name is Vatlaw Doomtooth, and he's been hiding in a cave south of the academy. This soon-to-be small victory will surely be one of many in the days to follow. Or so you thought.
It was on that day that the Char discovered a way around the Great Wall, a way to bring it down. This is where the true story begins.